Hi, welcome to another Pick a Card reading. This particular reading is a question that was submitted by one of my viewers. Mimi asked, what does my boss think of me? All right, so I've pulled some cards, and what we're going to be looking at is what do the people at work think about you? And this can include your boss, coworkers, or even the people that you interact with who, like for example, if you're in sales, this could be the people that you sell your product to. Or if you're a doctor, this could be your patients, that kind of thing. So just wanted to make it a little bit more broad, and also, of course, there's some people that work for themselves. But I will be looking for boss energy in every single pile. And I wanted to go ahead and say this is pile number 1, this is pile number 2, and this is pile number 3. Okay, and while you're thinking about which pile you're going to pick, I just wanted to go ahead and say, if you hear any noises, those are outside noises. It's just such a great day today, and so I opened up my windows, and so you might hear some outside noises. I apologize if it's distracting. It definitely doesn't affect my concentration at all. It actually helps me to be connected to that fresh air and everything. And, anything that you need to know about me will be in the description. A lot of people have been coming to me for private readings, and so I just wanted to say that my turnover with that is 5 days, but I do offer like an emergency, which the turnover is 24 hours for those of you that need that. But yeah, you can either look in the description or check out the About Me section. I also have a Facebook business page if you want to go ahead and connect with me there too. Do a card a day there. So that could give you something else to look at if you're interested in that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to announce or anything, and it seems like that's it. So let's go ahead and get into this reading. Again, 1, 2, and 3. All right, if you need some extra time to pick your pile, go ahead and pause the video now and pick your pile and then resume it. Otherwise, we're going to just go ahead and start with pile number 1. And we have pile number 3 and pile number 2 right there. Okay. So, oh my goodness, you guys got 4. Huh. Okay. We've got 9 of Wands, 9 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and 10 of Cups. There's already enough negative cards in these decks that I am reading them upright for the generals. It just works better. And here we go. We've got 9 of Wands, feeling defensive. I feel like this is you. Like, sometimes you need to defend your position on things at work, and sometimes you feel like, I don't know, like maybe you're the only one that kind of sees, gosh, I don't want to use bad words, but it's like you see through all the BS, and you kind of feel like you need to be like a little defensive. Like that's almost like a role you have there. So that could be both positive or negative depending on the situation. For example, if you're a defense attorney, that's great. You're doing what you need to do. If you feel defensive and that's uncomfortable, just know that that role is something you're supposed to play. It might not be very fun. Not everything involved with work is going to be fun. But that's true of life in general, okay? I'm not trying to say that work equals not fun, because work is very fun if you're doing what you love. But yeah, I mean, this is just showing, a little bit of defensiveness, and like you have to defend your positions. Okay, 9 of Pentacles. Some people, this is gonna go to 2 different sides. Some people might be seen as somebody who completes their work super fast, right? And then some people on this might be perceived as not caring as much about work as they care about some other things in their environment. I'm gonna go ahead and pull clarifier on this before I even go on, because I really want to know which one it is. Because as soon as I said that out loud, I was like, I don't know, that doesn't feel right. So we're going to go ahead and just ask a clarifier. Intuitively, I think this is for somebody who gets their work done fast, or they're really good at meeting deadlines. Like they have some leisure time at work, but that's okay. Like that's to be expected. So let's see what this deck says. Okay, you've got some good clarifiers here. Okay, this is an ending. Okay, so yeah, you end your work quickly. You also might be looking to move with work, like move to a different location or something like that. This could also be taking a work trip. Yeah, here's another one. You don't want to ask for help. You want to do this all by yourself. You want to get it done. That's what happens. Sometimes you overwork. And here's another, yeah, overworking, you know, really wanting to get into the action. Okay, so the way you're seen at work is that you're dedicated to it. You want to get it done. You want to make sure that you put all of that good, positive effort into it. And the people that are above you, they see that. Just because they don't give you the feedback as like often as you might like, they really do. Sorry, I'm just kind of trying to gather my thoughts so that I can like put it in the best words. Like they see how valuable you are, and they see what a good worker you are. They don't want to lose you. Okay, but they're just the kind of person that doesn't really think to leave a whole bunch of feedback for you. And if you want, you can actually go by. You can talk to your any higher up and say, you know, hey, I was just wondering if you could give me some feedback on this project I did or this thing that I did. And, you know, personalize it to your situation. And you know, if you feel that you need that feedback, 10 of Cups, you know, you're able to provide for your family. Your family likes your job. Your family likes what you're doing. And then you've got the Ace of Cups. There's something else that you want to be doing, though. There's something... It feels so much like a side thing. Again, we'll go ahead and ask a clarifier for that. But it's like there's something else that you'd like to be doing. I'm not getting that this is a job where there's a whole lot of people around you. Yeah, there's the 10 of Cups, but that speaks about families for me more than it does about actual coworkers. The only thing that I could think of that might have to do with is that you and your family, like there's a lot of family events at work. But that doesn't really make sense in this reason. Okay, so you feel kind of trapped. I got this card several times. You've got an ending. This is a death card. It's not negative. I don't get that this is an ending to a job, though. It might be like an ending to a project, but I don't feel like you're going to leave your job. I mean, unless you're going to like relocate, like this card said. And then I've got a lot of celebrations. So yeah, if anything, you know, maybe you go to office parties, you know, with that celebration card. But yeah, with the Ace of Cups here, kind of showing like a little side thing. Basically what I'm getting is that, you know, like there's a seed that's been planted, and this thing will be fruitful if that's what you decide to go with. You could also do both. Alright, so these two cards are going to kind of get a little bit more in depth as to the kind of character you present yourself as at your work. And we've got Prince and Judge, okay? So let's start with the Prince. You've got romantic charm and potential for power. What that tells me in this reading is that you can definitely like move up in the company if you want. You can be making more and all of that kind of stuff. Some people feel a little intimidated by that, and they don't want you to have too much power. But it's not something that is gonna prevent you from moving up. It's just that it's more like if you work with a lot of coworkers, there's a lot of, you know, I'm not really getting there's a whole lot of people around. in this job. And it could just be that what you do in, like, by yourself and not in groups. But if there are other people around you, they're kind of jealous of you, or maybe your people who work in the same field as you are jealous of you. And so, like, they, so they'll make up things about you, like, oh, well, maybe they're just, maybe they just aren't so great, or whatever, or it's exaggerated how good they are, that kind of thing. But this is energy. This is how you're being seen. This isn't a bad thing, though, because this shows that you're competent. This shows that you're charming. This shows that you're powerful in your job. So this is what you want to have if you want to do something, with your job. If you want to just have, like, a job that's, like, kind of a mindless thing. I did that once. I just worked for a big box retailer right after I had my son, because I just needed to get out of the house. So if you're in a situation like that, either you can move up really quickly and become a manager and stuff like that, or, if you want something kind of more mindless, you're in a situation where you're going to be recognized. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then they also see that you've got a good balance between, like, your mind and your heart. What it says literally is balancing justice and compassion, and managing the fair distribution of power. So what you do is fair, and again, I really think that goes back to this whole thing, that you get your job done and all of that good stuff. You get it done, you make deadlines, that kind of thing. One thing is that sometimes some people think that you might be a little critical. So that might be something else. I think that also has to do with this kind of feeling defensive. But in some cases that can be an appropriate thing to be, though, is critical. Using critical thinking, for example, and stuff like that. In other cases, it can kind of rub people the wrong way. So just, take what resonates. And then this is just a card of giving you some ideas of one thing, like something you can do to feel more positive about your job. What you can do to either move forward, feel more positive, that kind of thing. And you guys got the meditation card, and that speaks about reflection, really, really thinking hard about things. It just seems like there's just a lot of things that you might want to just kind of puzzle out. And it seems like this Ace of Cups that is talking about something new. That's something you might want to think about. Since in this card you've got the ocean as well, this also might have something to do with relocating as well. But I feel that that's not all of you, that's just some of you. For others, this is just, think about this, think about your work and kind of figure out, like, what your plan is for the next year or so, that kind of thing. So yeah, you guys are seen mostly as positive forces. All right. Okay, I have my water with me, because sometimes my voice gets kind of dry when I'm reading. Okay. Hi, group 2. We're going to go ahead and start out with the 3 cards. Oh, wow. Okay, so you've got not only the Princess of Pentacles, but you also have the Queen of Pentacles. So this can speak to yourself as being somebody who's powerful, somebody who knows how to make money and knows how to hold on to money, somebody who you make a lot of decisions about your money because you think about it, you plan what you're going to do with your money. And so some people will, I'm not kidding, they will get their paycheck and they will just go out and spend it immediately. Or they'll already know what they're going to spend their paycheck on before, but it's not like wise decisions. It's like, well, I'm going to get a Nintendo Switch this paycheck, and then the next paycheck I'm going to get a PlayStation 4. That kind of thing. Not that video games are bad or anything like that. I'm just trying to give an example of something that might seem frivolous. But yeah, you guys are like in a really, really great position. This could also speak to somebody who's like, this is you, and this is like a boss or a mentor, most likely a female boss though, or a boss that's got a lot of feminine energy. Because this isn't coming across as a job where there's a whole lot of, like, I mean, it's grounded, definitely, and it's definitely no nonsense, but it's not coming across as a job that's like, real thinking oriented. That's what's coming up there, but ooh, there's this temptation. There's this temptation going on. It's not like, it's a natural temptation. You know, there's not, I don't feel bad about this, you know? Sometimes I can feel like a sense of foreboding with this card, but I really don't feel bad about it. It's just like, if you're in an office romance, you know, just try to be as discreet as possible, that kind of thing. And also, if you're tempted to do anything that's against the rules, make sure that you're playing by the rules. You know, that's what that warns against. So what I've found in this reading is that I'm not seeing, you know, yes, there's the Queen of Pentacles, which could be a boss figure, but I'm not seeing anything that's like, what does my boss think about me? So those of you guys who are in this work environment, and you have, you know, and you have a boss, and you want to know what they think about you, I'm going to go ahead and pull some clarifying cards before I go on to the next bunch of cards, because I really want to make sure that the question is answered. Well, they definitely see you as hardworking. One more card, please. Oh, okay. All right. So, you know, you see this card. For those of you who aren't familiar with tarot, this is the Ten of Wands. Some people call them rods. Some people call them staves, I think. Anyway, this is, you know, basically, this is a tarot of pagan cats, by the way, so that's why there's cats in them. So this person is carrying this big bundle on their shoulders, like, oh my gosh, you do so much, you know? So, like, your boss recognizes that, or you're definitely being recognized for that. Your boss likes that you take action, you know, or that's something that's really, you know, great about that. Wheel of Fortune, sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. This is a particularly, I mean, wow, this is a particularly good time for you when it comes to work. You're going to be earning well, that kind of stuff, so that's good. You know, and remember how I said before that this takes some feminine energy. This is just kind of doubling down on that, okay? The feminine energy is definitely there. And, you know, with the cups, this is the King of Cups, but the feminine energy is definitely there with the King of Cups, because cups is talking about emotions and that kind of thing. I see that there's a ship in the background. Some of you guys might be going on a vacation or a business trip or something like that, but I don't get that you're going to be like moving or anything. I don't get, like, I just get this like a temporary thing. So it might even be something like you move to a different team, or maybe you like you go somewhere else that you wouldn't normally go. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, and we've got Justice, so you're very balanced. People find you a very balanced person, you know. And then, the overthinking card. The Eight of Swords. Yeah, sometimes you overthink. Sometimes you worry too much about what other people think about you and in the work environment. And sometimes you worry that, like, maybe your boss is seeing you as negative. They're not. If you ever want feedback from your boss, all you have to do is just let them know, you know, hey, I was wondering what you thought about my performance lately. And they'll be happy to tell you. And for those of you who work for yourselves, it still does apply. It just doesn't apply to a boss figure. This applies more to your own feelings of how you're doing. All right. And with the Wheel of Fortune and the Justice card here, you know, if you're feeling trapped by anything, it would be this energy right here that's like this kind of temptation thing. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and put these aside. Actually, I want to get those cat cards out of here. we're going to go ahead and put these aside, and these particular cards here I pulled to look at how you're perceived, particularly at work, okay? And these are archetype cards, so they're going to be like talking about like general character. So we've got the gossip card, and that's kind of interesting because on the one hand, you are good at being aware of what other people need, and you are definitely for the most part, you're really trustworthy with it, things that other people say to you. However, this is also a card that obviously warns against, talking too much about people's business. If you're perceived as anything negative at this, it's just, there's this gossip thing. And, again, the light attributes is like just being aware of other people's feelings and, and of others. And another thing, this could also apply to like people who are counselors or people who, have to like talk to people about their stuff, their personal lives and stuff as a job, because people who do that have to, they have to hear some people's like pretty deep dark secrets. I know that that's what I do when I do my private readings. So this could also just speak to that, and then what this card would be also saying is that, just make sure you clean your energy and make sure you, unwind from that and don't carry that around with you so much. I mean, most people who are in these kinds of, those kinds of jobs, though, have been trained to do that. And then they also say father. This is kind of an interesting talent for creation, supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. The warning is like maybe like an abusive control or abusive authority, that kind of thing. I get that this is very, very positive, though. Like, what you bring at work is creativity, and like you're good at, like, when you're assigned something, bringing that to fruition, and that kind of thing. And again, this feels so nurturing. You've got the two women here depicted in this, and you've got this, you've got this guiding, this gossip, like, kind of guiding light feeling with the father, and it just feels so like sensitive. It feels, I mean, I understand a father is not feminine, but it feels so caring, so nurturing. And then you've got this card is just a general idea of what you can do to kind of like improve your situation at work if you want improvement, or what you can do for those of you who just want to know, like what's some guidance? What can I do at work? What can I change? If there's anything. Forgiveness. That's an interesting card. Forgiveness. Okay. So at work, you've just got to forgive other people for the things that they don't do. Gosh, it's going to sound awful. Like, they basically don't do as well as you. For everybody who does things that aren't as good as you do, there are things that you do that aren't as good as them. Maybe it's not in the work arena, but, for example, I might be really, really, really great at reading, for example, reading books, right? And but my friend's horrible at reading, but is great at golf, right? And I am horrible at golf. I love golf, but I'm horrible at it. But yeah, like forgiveness. This is like, there's that, and then there's also the whole like just no, like giving people the breathing room to be human, I've just noticed, and I find myself saying this a lot, but it's just so true, so it's worth repeating. I find that people oftentimes, when it comes to forgiveness, they just don't, it's like they want the person to be perfect, and that person just can't be perfect because they're human. And that's just the way it is with people. And in the same way that they can't be perfect, you can't be perfect. And just so like forgiveness for me is also about like broadening your understanding of other people as also being imperfect people, you know. And I mean, I'm not saying that my viewers don't know this, or anything like that, or that you're closed-minded or anything. But sometimes, you know, that perspective has really helped me. So that's why I want to share it here. So you guys, you know, just kind of like keep an eye on that gossip and any kind of temptation, you know. So that's how you're being perceived. All right, getting a drink of my water before I go on. Okay, sorry for that pause. All right, group 3. How are you doing? Hope it's good. We're going to go ahead and start with the tarot reading. We've got the Tower, Rebirth, and 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so there's some drama going on at work. It's like you're breaking everything down and you want to build a new foundation. And also, like, I get that, like, if you work for a company, there's probably a lot of people that are being fired right now. Or maybe the company's, like, downsizing. But, like, there's just a lot of turmoil that I'm getting at the company. And so, like, this represents the company right here. But this, Rebirth, it can also speak to the company as well. But it's also speaking to you in that you're recreating yourself right now, both at work and just in your personal lives. So this recreation of yourself is just, gosh, it's such a positive thing. It just feels so positive. Like I touched the card and it's like, ooh, that's positive. Wow. So yeah, you're gonna do well. If people are getting fired at your job right now, or if there's some kind of worry that somebody might get demoted, or maybe people will have to take a cut in wages or something like that, it's not going to affect you. And then another thing is that, you know, I was talking about building that foundation. You've got the 8 of Pentacles here, and in this deck, you know, you've got this guy. He's like, looks like he's in a basement, right? Because you've got these roof beams right here, right? He could be in a small house, but he's basically on the bottom floor, right? So he's on that foundation, and he's going to work. You know, Pentacles refers, you know, some people, some decks call it the 8 of Coins. So yeah, Pentacles always refers to work. Well, not always. It can be earthy. It can be a lot of things, but in this particular reading, it refers to work because we're asking about work, and they're just going right along and doing their work. So you are definitely seen as somebody who is a hard worker. Something that strikes me about this is that it's like you're also kind of like hard to distract. Like you get in a zone when you work. Which is kind of interesting because I don't see that who are working, and the idea that like, wow, there's a whole group of people that are watching this that, you know, are like getting into some kind of zone when they work is kind of like interesting to me because I definitely get into a zone. All right, so these cards are going to talk about like also like how you're perceived, and also about what you can do. Well, I mean, some of it's going to be about, like, what you can do, like, skill sets you can bring, but it's also just how you're perceived. You're perceived as somebody who helps those in need without any expectation of return. So people might see you as somebody they can take advantage of at work sometimes. So just make sure that you've got your boundaries out and you're not taking on too much. Because when people see somebody that's willing to, like, kind of take on extra work and everything, they kind of see that as a way of getting permission to push some things off on them. Because it's almost like they think that you're happy to do that, which, I mean, you might be. But it's like they perceive it like you want them to do that, too, sometimes. So, and then Networker. Enhances unity through the sharing of information, social awareness, and empathy. All right. So this shows that you help something grow at work. You know, networking, you know, I think about like, okay, so I want to meet some people that are in the same field as me, so I'm going to go on Facebook and look at groups of people that are you know, in the same field, and then I'm gonna go to like another place online and everything. I of course I associate networking with a network, right? A computer network, but it can also be going in person. You know, it could even be like a networker, like, you know, like a campaign manager, somebody who, you know, tries to get a whole bunch of people on board, you know, that kind of thing. So that's another way that you're perceived, is just getting people on board with things, you know, and kind of growing the company. So you're definitely valued. This is a lot of value here. I'm going to go ahead and specifically draw a card for how does my boss think about me, because, and we already got 2 popping up. One more, please. Because I just want to make sure that I answer that question, because that was the question that inspired this reading. So what does your, whoa, that didn't feel right. Okay. One more card. What do my viewers, what do their boss think of them? What does their boss think of them? What does their boss think of them? One more card. What does their boss think of them? With the boss. Okay, I don't want to waste your time. If one doesn't jump soon, I'll have to pull it. I have to feel it. Whoa! Okay, we're going to take the very, very first one. There we go. Alright, so what your boss thinks of you, you're a hard worker. You've got this person carrying a lot of burden, so you take on a lot, you're a hard worker. What else do they get from you? You need some inspiration in order to do well. This is the 4 of Swords, okay? And it might kind of speak to a little bit of idleness, but I don't feel like it's inappropriate. You know, I don't feel like, oh, they're just an idle person. I don't feel like that. I feel like it's more like they recognize that it's part of your job to kind of think on things and reflect on things. So you're perceived as somebody who does that well. And then this, oh, the 10 of Pentacles. This is a great card to get for work. This is awesome. Yeah, you're seen as very positive. I mean, like, seriously, there's hardly anything here that's negative. My goodness. The only thing that I could even look at this to see that it's negative is like, okay, the Tower card talks about how there's some drama at work, you know, but that's not going to be affecting you because we've got the Rebirth card. And then we've got this kind of like idleness, but it doesn't feel like it's a bad idleness. And like the 10 of Pentacles, that's like wish fulfillment in work, okay? So, I mean, it's not just like wish fulfillment would be more like the 9 of Pentacles, but like the 10 of Pentacles is like you're already there. You're already doing what you need to be doing. So, you're fine. I wouldn't change anything. Okay? Because you're doing well here in this situation. So just keep doing what you're doing. All right, and I'm not surprised this came up with this angel energy of helping those, you know, without any expectation of return, and this kind of like really like hyper focus and everything. Your guidance for what you can do to kind of improve your spirit at work, kind of improve how you're feeling about work, is body care. And I mean, I'm just going to throw it out there in case this is you. If you don't wear deodorant to work, you might want to start trying. But I really don't think that applies to anybody who's watching this, actually. In fact, I get 0. You know, but body care, taking care of yourself, you know, make sure that you take, I mean, like if this is your thing, you know, take nice long baths if that's something that you need to do to take care of yourself, or, you know, get your nails done, or, you know, make sure that you've got your hair cut, or make sure that you're, you know, you feel good in what you're wearing, you know, that kind of thing. Make sure you get enough sleep, you know, take care of your body, take care of your physical body, because it feels like what you're doing right here is so cerebral right here, and it's also so like part of your heart, you know. And then you've got this like really hyper focus, you know, that kind of talks about the cerebral stuff too, and these like, you know, so you've got the cerebral start, and then you've got the cards that have to do with the heart, and you've got your overwork. So yeah, take care of yourself too. You know, so that's what they're telling you guys. Hi, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. I really appreciate the viewer comments, and I of course love the likes and subscribes, but you know, only do that if you feel moved to. And I also just wanted to say I recently added another video reading that's just $25 for those of you who would like a video reading. It'll be 10 minutes or more. Usually I go over. Okay, I'll just go ahead and put that out there. But 10 minutes or more, and I'll ask I'll answer up to 3 questions and focus on a topic that you want me to focus on. All you have to do is send me an email and let me know that you want a reading, and that would be great. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. I celebrate every single one of you. Every time I get a new subscriber, I'm just like, oh, yay, or, you know, and a comment and all of that good stuff. So I'm really happy that I'm doing things that are helping you guys to feel happy. Thank you.